Look, I'm sorry. I came at you hot. My bad. Look, you don't need a title to lead. You don't need a leadership title to lead. The best influencers, the best leaders out there can influence from anywhere. In this episode, we're going to dive deeper into what exactly that means and how you can leverage that perspective to shift the way that you lead in your workspaces. So I remember growing up, I was big on having a title. I wanted to be the CEO. I wanted to be the captain. I wanted to be the director, the executive director, the president, right? Give me the title, because what I saw growing up was that the title helped move the efforts. The title is what people follow. They listen to the people with the title. They listen to the people who had that role. And for me growing up, I was like, yo, I got the broad shoulders. I want to wear that title, I want to wear that role. I want that responsibility, right? It was it was interesting because even as I was desiring, and it was all vanity, right? Like I wanted the title just to look good, but because it looked good on paper, you put that on your signature and your emails, right? I was big on having that title because yes, I wanted that sense of responsibility. I felt that having that title was given to give me that influence. But what I realized over time is that titles are just titles. Titles don't mean nothing. I mean, they mean something in some contexts, in some hierarchical spaces. But honestly, the real influence, the real actions where leaders shine and show up is in the practice and the habits that they do on a regular basis. Because there are some leaders out there, and we know who those leaders are, that wear the title of quote unquote organizational positional leadership, but ain't doing the work that is associated with that particular title. And sometimes we got to look out for the next generation because like me, for example, I will look up and put these people up on a pedestal and think, oh, that's what leadership is, that's what leadership look like, then I should be that, I should aspire to do that. But we have to be careful, because if we put that level of ownership and saying, hey, the leader is only CEO and nobody else, then one, folks who aspire to that role think that if there is a quote unquote bad leader, or a leader that is not following those habits of servant leadership, inclusive leadership, of actual execution, strategic leadership, things of that nature, then we think that, oh, like this is what I aspire to be, this is all I have. Or those who do not have that title will feel like, dang, I guess I'm not a leader then, because I don't have that particular title and that quote unquote weight that comes with it. But that is not true. Let's demystify the fact that leadership is not a position, it's a perspective. It is a practice, it is a habit. It is what we do on a regular basis. And it took time for me to really shift my perspective. In both athletics helped me see that, and working in ministry helped me see that, and even working in my current role as a supervisor, seeing that. And then in the way that I'm engaging people in organizations across our state of Oregon and other areas, talking about, hey, where you are today, the role that you have has influence. You have status, and no, it's not in a quote unquote director or manager or a CEO C-suite type of a role, but you have influence, and you have ways to engage that influence to help shape the work, the people, and the team and initiatives moving forward. So here are three ways that I've been articulating that to the teams and to the people that I engage with, to help them see themselves as leaders regardless of the title that they hold. Number one, you are a problem solver. Leaders are problem solvers. They see things that are going on around them. They see barriers, they see obstacles, they see issues. And rather than just like really like jam into the like wound of the issue, they try to figure out a way to help solve that issue. They see what they can do to utilize their gift and talents and strengths to fill that void or fill that gap, or create conversations to say, well, this is what we can do to help solve that. They really work to look ahead and find the issues that are going on around them before they escalate into something bigger and grander, right? We look at what are ways that we can offer solutions rather than just complain about the things that are going on around us. And anybody, regardless of title, can do that. Be a problem solver in the work, in the place, in the spaces that you are involved in. The second thing that we can do without having a title is just elevating others. Who doesn't love a hype person, right? Who doesn't love somebody who sees the gifts and talents that are around them and say, hey, you are doing well. I love the way that you show up in this space. I love how you solve that problem. I love how you look at a world differently. And I love the fact that you worked hard and diligently to execute that effort. Thank you. Great job. Let's hype you up, right? Let's give you a cake. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know why cake, but be a hype person in your team. Elevate other folks around you. Encourage them. Give them support. Give them guidance. Help support them in their efforts. Be that type of teammate. That is a great teammate. And a great teammate often is a person that can build trust and build engagement with the people around them. And that is what leaders can do regardless of title. And then the third thing is to own your own growth. Own your development. Take the initiative of the areas where you see gaps in your own skill sets and find a way to create your own growth plan. You could use the feedback from other people. You can use what your own previous experiences of doing reflections of the areas where you may have learned from failures in the past, or even celebrations and wins in the past. Or gaps in your knowledge of what you understand, whether it is with people, whether it is with the work that you do, whether it is the organization that you're part of. But keep learning, be a continuous learner in your space, and find ways to find the people, the books, the podcasts like Leaders Lens, the other areas that can help fuel you and give you the knowledge needed so you can execute. And then lastly, take the initiative in that execution as well. Don't just sit on the knowledge, actually put that knowledge to work and learn from that so that way you could continue to grow. You don't need a title to be a problem solver. You don't need a title to be a problem solver. You don't need a title to elevate others. You don't need a title to own your own growth. These are all things that every leader does on a regular basis to keep growing themselves and their teams and the work that they're doing. So as an example, there are a few, you can go into a meeting. So as an example, you can go into a meeting and you can realize that, okay, the facilitator up there might be somebody that has a positional title or what have you. And they're asking for some support. They're asking for somebody to take on an effort and initiative. You could be that person to say, you know what? I'm willing. Send me, I'll go. I will figure out what does it take to facilitate or to execute that work or solve that problem and issue, come back with my findings, communicate that out to others, and see this is what the next steps could potentially be. You could be that person. And that is leadership in action. That is somebody who sees a problem, feels a need, executes it, and helps bring other people along to share that up. So what I want y'all to do moving forward is to figure out what is one of those three ways that you could take action in. How can you be a problem solver? How can you elevate other people around you? How can you take ownership of your own leadership development and growth? What does it look like for you to lead with solutions, be an encourager, or take the initiative? And then what does it look like for you to help share this message with others around you, regardless of title, and say, hey, let's lead as effort effectively through our gifts, talents, and strengths, and watch how our environment grows and watch how we grow in this space, despite the title that we may or may not have. So if you like this episode, if you like these podcasts, be sure to also follow me at Ray Devante on all social media platforms. Subscribe to this particular podcast. Share this friend with share with a friend. And if you want some deeper dives in some of the leadership lens that we try to embody every day in our leadership, feel free to subscribe to the Leaders Lens newsletter. And I'll drop that in the show notes where you can continue to develop your leadership and to develop the way that you see you, your work, and your organization and the people around you to belong and thrive and grow as a leader.